Welcome to MacGyver's Workshop, where you never know what we're going to be working on next. If you're not too careful, you just might learn something.
Hi there. Welcome back to another episode of MacGyver's Workshop, where you never know what we're going to be working on next, and if you're not too careful, you just might learn something. So today, we're back, and we're going to get ready to shoot our build primer on the frame. We've already done the etching primer, and I'll walk you around the frame and show you that here in a second. And but before we do that, we have a little bit of metal work to do, and I'll show you some metal work that I already did before we actually shot the etching primer, and show you a little fix that I came up with for the rear transfer case mount, as apparently those rubber pieces are unobtainium now. So and even if you find them on a used truck, the two metal collars are rusted together and you destroy them taking them apart. So but I think I came up with a novel solution. Costs around $8, and it will hold that rear transfer case and transmission up just as good as anything. So let's get started. These are these two holes in the frame here. They're here and there, and I believe someone at some point in this truck's life put some kind of bed mounted hitch in here, and it's kind of odd. It's like, instead of drilling the holes, it's like they blew them through with a cutting torch, and that's kind of big holes there. So as you can see, I welded a piece of plate in behind here, and then we try and fill those in and clean that up, just to maintain some strength there, because wouldn't want any cracks to develop from there. I don't seriously think that they're wood. I mean, this is a like a half-ton short bed, but you know, we're in here, we're in the middle of this. Now's the time to do it. So, all right. Now I guess we can start from the back and work our way forward here. You can see now we got that frame all nice and spiffy clean, and of course the acid etch primer, or this particular acid etch primer, is kind of a green color, and the wet blaster did an awesome job. They got all the surface rust off of there. Got it down to bare metal, just like we wanted. And we've got, let's see, now right about here is where we spliced the frame back together. You can see the doubler on the inside over there. And of course I taped up the cab mounts. Cab mounts were still good. But you can't really take them out because they have like two metal collars, one on the top, one on the bottom, and they slide into each other inside the rubber mount, and that's what you know, makes the cushion between the cab and the frame, and it's drawn up nice and tight. Well, they rust together and you can't ever get them apart. So if you do get them apart, you usually have to cut them, and then of course when you do that, then the mount's destroyed. So since those guys are still good, we can reuse those, and those are pretty much unobtainium as well as the mounts that go on the transmission cross member here, which I'm about to show you in a minute. And of course, those are the spring perches right there and there, and then the front cross member, and in the front there. That's all nice and spiffy. So, and then here's what I'm about to show you. This is the transmission cross member right here. But I'm going to go put the camera back on the tripod, so stand by. So basically, what we have here, this is the cross member for the back of the transmission, and in this case, transfer case, because it's four-wheel drive. And because of the extra weight of that transfer case, your normal, little rubber, single rubber transmission mount won't be quite tough enough. So what Ford did is they've got these big giant cushions right here that sandwich over the cross member, and then the bolt pulls everything together nice and tight and snug. So kind of goes like this. And these guys sit here, and then this, let me get this right here, sits thusly. And then your transmission just mounts solid to this top plate here, and that way it has a nice wide footing there to absorb any torsional stress. Well, unfortunately, these things are, as far as I know, just unobtainable now. I've looked on the forums. I noticed a lot of the guys, like years ago, were trying to find these and they couldn't find them. So, I didn't want to leave this put together and not, because you can't get in between here and blast and paint and all that. So I had to make the decision to go ahead and cut these apart and get them out of here. And but that means I have to come up with something else to make this work. So lo and behold, these guys will work wonderfully, because they are exactly the same height as this here. So we're gonna put some, weld some, steel reinforcement here and here. And then we can have these fellas like so, and we'll figure some way out to make this. So we need these holes clear, because that's how you get to these. We'll come up with something there for that. And then there you go. So I thought that was a pretty good idea there. And these things are a transmission mount basically for your early model Chevrolet, GM, Turbo 350. There's like a laundry list of vehicles that they fit, but the most important thing is that they are $3.99 each at O'Reilly's, and the part number is A2392. And now they have more expensive mounts that are like 20 bucks a piece, but I mean, they're basically all made in the same place, and you're good off with the $4 ones. So the only trick is, though, these are both same brand, same box, but you can tell these mounts were made in two different places. This place, they made them, they took good care to, you know, make sure with their quality control and everything. This one, I don't know where this thing was made at, but you can tell the attention to detail wasn't quite as good because there's a whole bunch of excess rubber spooge from when they molded the rubber around here on the threads, and you can't even, you know, get the nut on them now. And this one came with a nut in the box, okay, and this one didn't. So if you're going to do a fix like this, you need to make sure you have the nuts, because they're metric, and it's a M10 by 1.5, and O'Reilly also sells these. It's just their Dorman, you know, parts, and then there's your nut that you need to go on here. But as you can see, it's not going to want to go on there too good because all the rubber and crap in the threads. So you're going to have to wire wheel it clean just to get it to, you know, not a huge hairy deal. It'll take but a couple of minutes. Yeah, clean those threads up, get all the crap out of them, and then you should be able to get your bolt back on there no problem, or your nut I mean. And not sure, yeah, it'll go on there. The end of the stud's a little boogered up, but that's okay. We'll fix it. So, anywho, so that's how we're going to fix that bit. I'm going to go ahead and weld some reinforcement in here underneath, and that way they're in there good and strong, because it's got a little rusted thin around here where the rubber goes. It happens all the time here too, just about paper thin. So we're going to weld some plate in there, and then once we jig these up, then we'll mark where our holes are going to go, drill our holes, and that way once all that's done, then we can prime and paint, and then when we're ready to go back together with it, we'll put our mounts in and reassemble all this, and it'll be good to go. And it looks like that this piece of C-channel that I have left over from the pieces that we cut out of the frame to shorten the frame is just what the doctor ordered for this. It's nice and thick and sturdy, and I'll make me a little template out of paper or cardboard as to exactly what shape I need it for each side, and I should be able to cut two pieces out of this, and that'll work nice. So just using the cardboard back off of a beat up steno pad here, I made my little templates here of how I need to roughly shape my metal, and I'll cut these out of that C-channel over there, and so that way I know which way's up, and be back in a minute. If you're going to use a piece of C-channel or anything that's bent like this, you always want to cut your or mark your pieces on the inside, because the piece of metal will look bigger from the other side because of where the bend is. And this way you just make sure you've got everything in there the way you want it. Now I'll have to chuck up the old cutting wheel and the angle grinder there, and we'll make these two pieces, and back in a minute. Okie dokie. Well, we got our nice thick piece of steel here, cut to our little template. And same for this piece here. And let's see what we can do here. See, that piece will lay in there nice. How we did this here. There we go. And that one goes nice right in there. Now what we'll do is we'll weld this in there nice and sturdy, and then we'll mark our holes for our mounts over top and drill it, and bada bing bada boom. Okie dokie. That looks good. Alrighty. So I got my holes marked here, and you can see on the back side where I got those two plates welded in there, and I'll drill my holes for the mounts. Then I'll clean it up, reshoot it with some acid etch, and we'll be good to go. All right, let's see how we did. We got our holes drilled there, and of course I wire wheeled all the burnt primer off, and then we'll shoot it over with some new primer. Of course, I'm not going to fire the gun up just for that. I'll use some etching primer in a can, which is just as good. So, all right. So what we'll do, take our bolts here. We'll just kind of fit this in here and see how, lay this in here and see how she lays. Nice. That'll do. That'll do. So we'll keep it all apart for now until we get everything painted the way we want it. But then when it comes time to go together with it after the actual finish coat, which is going to be like a semi-gloss matte kind of black, then we'll assemble all this stuff and bolt it up and get it in there nice and good. So cool. Alrighty. So we got all our loose parts hung up and primed with the gray, it's called like a high build sanding primer, but it's also rust preventative. So this coating is what's going to provide a good part of the rust preventative. So now it's gray. It's not green anymore. Now, in a if you were using this primer like on a body panel, it's high build, so you can sand it. Sand it smooth and get it almost to a glass finish before you shoot your color to it. But we're not worried too much about that with the frame. We just want to get it coated and get some color on it, prevent it from rusting. So now one other thing we've got, if you remember, there was two holes in the frame that were like I said, I don't know, somebody put like a, I don't know if they tried to put like a gooseneck or a fifth wheel hitch on here or something, but there were some pretty big holes right in the top of that frame there. So for fear of maybe that weakening the frame, I went ahead and welded some steel plate up underneath and filled it in, so it's as good and strong or stronger than the original. So we don't have to worry about that. And of course, this is where we splice the frame, and that's going to be strong as can be. You know, it's probably stronger than the original frame. So, but yeah, we've got the next step. So the next time you, hopefully anyway, the next time you see this frame, it'll be done in its color coat, which, like I said, it's gonna be, we're gonna use like a semi-gloss or matte black, and it'll look good. So I'm happy with it so far. Looks a heck of a lot better than it did when it got here. So, which of course was still better than the original truck frame. So anyhow, stay tuned till next time, and thanks for watching. Remember to please subscribe and ring the bell if you don't mind, so you'll get notified next time we put a video up. And as always, feel free to comment. We welcome all comments and critique and whatever. I don't claim to be an expert. I'm just figuring this out as I go here. So, either make a comment down below, or you can email me at MacGyversWorkshop@gmail.com, and I'll usually get back to you here, usually within a week or two at tops, maybe later. Some of them might go a while because I've been so busy, but stay safe, wash your hands, don't hog the toilet paper, and again, thanks for watching, and we will see you next time.